Welcome students. In today's class, we are going to discuss about the classification of the invertebrates. So as we have completed in the previous chapter, the classification of plants, now we are going to move to the classification of animals. Now in animals, we can be dividing the animals into two broad groups. One is called invertebrate and another is called vertebrate. In this slide and in this class, we are going to discuss about the classification of the invertebrates. Invertebrates are the animals that are not having a backbone inside their body and also no internal skeleton to support their body. So they are very soft-bodied animals. So on the basis of presence and absence of backbone or vertebral column, we can divide the animals into two types. First is the invertebrate, which do not have a backbone or internal skeleton, and the vertebrates, which are having a backbone and an internal skeleton, just like the human beings. So the animals without backbone include the earthworm, the leeches, the insects, the crab, spider, sea urchin, the mussels, the crawfish, the sponges, and all of these are the soft-bodied animals or invertebrates. Now the invertebrates are also having different groups or different phylums on the basis of the different features that they exhibit. So on the basis of different features, we are dividing the invertebrates into different phylums or groups. And we are going to know about them in detail in the further slides. First phylum of the invertebrates include the porifera or the pore-bearing animals. These include the sponges that are mostly found in the sea. So all these sponges or the poriferans cannot move from one place to another. They are fixed at the ocean bed or on the rock on which they are growing. As we can see in the picture, there are small pores or small holes present all over the body wall of the poriferans. And at the top, there is a single big hole present. So all of these small tiny pores are actually acting as inlet of water, and the water is entering into the body. And with the water, the food particles are also entering inside the body of the poriferans. And after the exchange of food, the expel water or the outlet of the water is through the single topmost big pore through which the water is coming out. The next phylum that we are going to talk about is the Cnidaria or the Coelenterata. So these include the jellyfish, hydra, sea anemone, etc. The picture is showing a picture of the sea anemone, and as we can know that these are all the aquatic animals or they are present in the sea or marine animals. But some of them are also freshwater animals as well. They are having a sac-like body which is having an internal cavity inside which the digestion of the food particle takes place. So as we can see, the body wall is yellow in color, and inside the body wall there is just a cavity. There is a hollow structure which is called the digestive tract, or which is where the digestion takes place. Now at the uppermost or topmost portion of the body, there is a mouth or single opening present, and it is surrounded by some tentacular structures or tentacles which can move and which are actually used for catching food and drawing food, and also used for swimming. So by the tentacles, the food will be captured and moved into the inside cavity of the sac-like body where digestion of the food particles will take place. And the cnidarians or the coelenterates are radially symmetrical. That is, their body can be divided into equal halves through any plane. Since they are circular animal or circular in structure, we can separate a circle through any plane or any diameter into equal halves or two equal halves. Just in the similar way, the cnidarian or coelenterates can be having equal halves of the body through any plane. So that is why they are having radial symmetry. The next phylum that we are going to read about is called the Platyhelminthes or the flatworms. These are the worms that are also living inside the intestine of our gut. So they are actually parasites. Why they are called parasites? Because when they are living inside the body of some animal, human being or any other animal, they are drawing the nutrients from that host's body. Suppose we are the host and the Platyhelminthes or flatworm are the parasites, and the parasites are getting benefited or the flatworms are getting benefited by absorbing the nutrient, but we are getting sick since they are living inside our body by absorbing the nutrient. So the host is actually affected adversely. So these are called the parasites. As we can see in the picture, they are having a very thin and flat body. That's why they are called the flatworms. They are ribbon-like structures. What are the examples? Tapeworm and the liver fluke. All of these are the parasites that live inside the human body. Tapeworms live inside the human intestine. And liver fluke is the Platyhelminthes that lives inside the human liver. So all of these are the parasites of either human body or any other animal body. The next phylum or next group is also having some worms. It is known as Nematoda, but they are a little bit different than the worms of the group under Platyhelminthes. What is different is that the body shape or the body structure. They are not called the flatworms, but instead they are called the roundworms. Because their body is not flat, but the body is rounded or cylindrical, an unsegmented body. They are very minute, that is we cannot see it clearly with the naked eye. And also, just like the Platyhelminthes, Nematoda are having a similarity, which is they are parasites in both humans and the animals. Example of Nematoda is Ascaris, which is a parasite in the small intestine of the human beings. So these two are the worm group. So Platyhelminthes is the flatworm and Nematoda is the cylindrical or roundworm. As you can see in the picture, this is the picture of an earthworm. Now they are also very similar in appearance like the Platyhelminthes and the nematodes, but there is a little bit difference between the annelids and other worm groups. That is, the Platyhelminthes and the nematodes were having an unsegmented body. That is, their body was entire. There was no segments or division present. But in Annelida, there are so many segments or divisions present from top of the body to the bottom of the body. As you can see in the picture, there are small and very thin white lines that are actually separating or segmenting the entire body length of the annelid or the earthworm. So these are actually called the segmented worms. And as you can see, there are some leg-like structures growing from each segment. So their body is having ring-like segments present throughout the body. And one more important feature for Annelida is that their body wall is very moist. It is very watery. It's not dry because they actually exchange gas for their respiration through their body surface. They are not having a particular respiratory organ inside their body. Their skin only acts as the respiratory organ of their body. The excretory organ, that is through which they are removing the wastes of the body, is called nephridia, and examples of Annelida include the earthworm and the leech. So both of them are grouped under the segmented worm or Annelida. Now the largest division or largest phylum of invertebrates is called the Arthropoda. Now if we are just separating the term arthropoda, this is a Latin term, Latin originated term. We will get two terms, arthros and podos. Arthros means jointed and podos means limbs or appendages, that is legs and hands. So arthropods are the animals that are having jointed limbs or jointed appendages. All the insects are included under the phylum Arthropoda. Since we know that insects are the biggest group of animal, there are numerous kinds of insects in the whole world. So Arthropoda is having the maximum number of members inside this group. So the main identifying feature of Arthropoda is jointed legs or jointed appendages. In the picture, as you can see, this is a picture of an ant, and as you can see, it's having the legs which are not entire structure, but they are having small parts, and those small parts or joint parts are together jointed at one end to another end. Now the body covering of the ant or body covering of any insect is a little bit tough. That tough body covering is nothing but a chemical or a compound which is called the chitin. And the body can be separated into three regions. Just see the picture of the ant. There is the head region, then there is the thorax region, the middle portion, and there is the broad abdominal region at the end portion. So in Arthropoda, body is divided into three regions: head, thorax and abdomen. Examples include the insects, the crabs, the prawns, the spider, scorpion, etc. So as I have told you that the Arthropoda or phylum Arthropoda is having the maximum number of members among all the animals present in the earth. So that is why the Arthropoda is further divided into different subgroups, and we are going to know about few of the subgroups here. So first division or first subdivision of Arthropoda is called Crustacea. And under Crustacea, what are the animals included? Crab, shrimp, lobster, prawn, etc. This is a picture of a lobster. As you can see, it is also having the legs which are not together or entire part, but it is in segments, and those segments are jointed. So it is having jointed appendages. So it is coming under Arthropoda. Now what is the identifying feature of Crustacea? Here the head and thorax is fused. As we have said that head, thorax and abdomen are the three portions that are present, but here the head and thorax portion is fused together. And there are many jointed legs, and they are mainly aquatic in nature. So these three are the points that are actually separating the crustaceans from the other arthropods. The next division of arthropod is called Myriapoda. Here the body is actually divided into many segments. Here we cannot actually separate the head, thorax and abdomen that way. So here the entire body is segmented into many parts. One or two pairs of legs are present on each segment. As you can see in the picture, it is a picture of a centipede, and one pair of leg is present in each section of the body. So centipedes and the millipedes are the examples of Myriapoda. The next division is Insecta, and Insecta division is containing all the insects that are present in our world. So here we are having the similar division of head, thorax and abdomen. They are clearly visible. Three pairs of jointed leg is present in every insect. So every insect that we see, there are having three pairs of jointed legs. That is 6 jointed legs are present. In the head, there is one pair of antenna present, and some mouth parts are also present. Examples include the ant, housefly, butterfly, bugs, mosquitoes, flies, everything. The last subdivision of Arthropoda, last but not the least, is Arachnida. Arachnida includes the spiders, the scorpion, tick, etc. Here also, just like the crustaceans, the head and thorax is fused. But what is the difference? That in the crustaceans, there were many jointed legs present. But here, only 4 pairs of jointed legs will be present. That is, total 8 jointed legs will be present. And in crustaceans, there was antenna in the head as well. But here in arachnids, there will be no antenna. And examples include the spider, tick, scorpion, etc. So by these features or by these characters, we can separate all of the subdivisions of Arthropoda into different divisions, and we can identify them.